Good morning, sunshine. How's it going? So, I don't make videos too often, probably see a few more out of me these days. Number one, for my YouTube channel, which I really haven't started, but is sort of on the back burner of things to do. And then number two, I'm creating a workbook called The Experience, which will have a bunch of videos in it as part of the workbook. So here we are. So I sat down this morning and pardon my voice, I'm a little hoarse from having had a little head cold for the last week. I sat down this morning to make a video about the introduction to the experience, or I don't know what I sat down, honestly, to to say or to do. I don't know. And then I have this blog post I've been working on, and I'm looking at it across the room on my computer, and the title of it is That Place You're Trying to Get To. And that seems like a good thing to talk about. That place you're trying to get to. Because we all have that place we're trying to get to, don't we? We all have it. And there's two ways to talk about it. You know, there's the normal, everyday human part of life that, yeah, we all have this place we're trying to get to, man. It's totally reasonable. You know, we all want to better ourselves. We all want to, you know, be in a better place next week or next month or next year. We all want to arrive to that place, right? That place where, now I'm exaggerating here to accommodate, you know, the many different dreams and ideals that people have, but that place where work is great and I'm making a lot of money. That place where I'm finally, you know, not single anymore and I have a really loving, caring, awesome relationship. That place where I'm retired and I've got this awesome house and I can just hang out on the farm. That place where I'm being creative and having fun and traveling and enjoying life. That place where I'm okay with my family and I'm got a good relationship with them. I hang out with them regularly, and after years of not doing so, finally I've arrived to that place. So all these places, right, that we all want to, man, is it one of the things that defines us for being a human being? Is this desire to get to that place that always seems to be pushing you and impelling you, and it's totally normal and totally okay. So you know, I have that place that I long to get to as well. Even being a spiritual badass, right? Even having tons of spiritual experience, having, you know, written the book about it, I too have that, and it's a normal part of human ego mind to want to do that. So that's one perspective to look at it from. That, hey man, you're cool. Obviously, go for it. You know, keep striving for that place. So here's the other side of the coin, which this is the medicine side of the coin, is this: that place does not exist. It does not exist. That perfect place, that ideal, that dream does not exist. It never has and it never will. As soon as you get some part of it, the dream, the ideal, the thing changes, and then you're off to another version of it. Let's say this, okay? I'm going to give you an example of why it doesn't exist. Let's say that you're struggling with money, okay? And then you arrive to this, you work really hard for years and years and years to make more money. And now let's say you're comfortably making, you know, whatever, $50,000 to $100,000 a year. Okay, so now, phew, finally the struggle is over, right? You're making $50,000 to $100,000 a year. But now what happens is that you readjust to that number, and now you want a bigger number. Now the ideal is, gee, I wish I could afford that, you know, that really nice car. If I was only making $150,000 a year, then I could afford that really nice car. So then the ideal is now adjusted, and now you're striving after that ideal again. So you never, what I'm saying is this, the place that you're longing to get to does not exist, because you never just arrive there and that's the end. You see what I'm saying? You never ever get to this like, you know, plane where you're totally okay, and yahoo, I have arrived. It does not, that ideal does not exist. So I know that sounds crushing, and that sounds like, you know, gee, thanks Jay Stewart for dashing all my dreams. But there's an odd conundrum, there's an odd paradox to this. When you've finally realized that that place that you're trying to get to does not really truly exist, that it's a phantom, that it's an illusion, when you really realize it, when you die to that effort, when you finally give up and give in, guess where you land? It's in the dying of trying to get to that place that you arrive to that place. I don't want to blow this out of proportion. I'm not saying that, you know, when you, it's like, how do I describe this? It's one, basically you realize one very, very large part of yourself, your spiritual badass part, is always in the present moment, is always arrived. That's what I'm talking about. When you stop all of your efforts to get to that place that you're trying to get to, what happens is you're thrown back on your spiritual badass self, and then then you realize that, oh my gosh, my spiritual badass self is always there. Is always okay. It's not trying to get anywhere. It's totally okay. It's totally satisfied. It's totally at peace. And then that spiritual badass self part of you becomes the driving force, therefore, of your life. Where, like, you're not, you know, it relaxes you, right? Now, this is not to say, I hope I'm being clear here, that you get rid of your ego and you get rid of your mind and you get rid of all of the striving to get to that place. As I said before, I too want to get to that place. And that's the J. Stewart ego mind part of this human being that wants to get to that place. But the other part, the spiritual badass part of J. Stewart, is totally okay right here in this moment. Has no choice but to be. So what happens is that when you fundamentally really connect with your inner spiritual badass self, oh boy, it has all sorts of, like, man, benefits. You relax. Life just eases up, because not all of you is identified with then getting to that place. A very large part of you then can relax and be in the present moment. And sometimes, to the extent that, like, you know, ego mind part of you, the J. Stewart, goes way in the background, and you're like very, very, very still, very, very in a space of joy and happiness, and very, very much in a space of peace. I hope that makes sense, these things. And I think that's what the sermon of the day is going to be, is just to take a look at this very human thing that we all do. We all have this place that we want to get to. And part of spirituality for badasses is really, really kind of understanding that place does not exist. really, truthfully, honestly, it does not exist. And if you can fundamentally realize that, so much of your life will relax and you'll be in the present moment and you will have arrived there paradoxically. I know this is not necessarily easy to grok. Get used to it. It's part of spirituality for badasses. There's paradox involved, you know. So it's not rocket science. It's just a little twist on things. You got this. So I think that'll be suffice for today's sermon of the day. Thanks for hanging out with me, and hopefully in the next month or two I'll have this this workbook done. In the meantime, email me, say hi to me, so I know that I'm not so I know I'm talking to somebody every now and again. Okay, take care. Bye bye.